Are you on the other channel? Okay, good. Hey, everyone. Here we go. I'm so happy to see all of you. Good evening to some, good morning to the others. It's pretty early here. As you can see, we're in a different spot today, but we are happy to be here. But first things, of course, can we scan you? And let's walk up to the creator of all that is. Everybody take a deep breath in, close your eyes, and gather all the energy from the bottoms of your feet. Go through your space and see yourself in a beautiful ball of light. Take that ball up through the sky and the universe, to this series of white lights and dark lights, through golden light, all the way up through that jelly-like substance, and into that tingly white light. And unconditional love fill every cell of your body, all the way down to your toes. Say, Creator, thank you for my life. Take a deep breath in and open your eyes. There you go. Perfect. Today we're talking about the unknown. And for some people, this can be super unsettling and uncertain. It can be almost scary.
Well, I think for all of our data processing for ourselves, for who we are, we want to know every situation, how to take care of things. Our body wants to know what's in the air we're breathing, how to filter it. Our body wants to know it's getting water. Our body wants to know
Everything, really.
how to handle situations. And when we get that little flutter of the unknown, we get that fear that comes up. What are we doing? How are we doing it? Even more importantly, I think, who are we?
Yeah.
It puts that giant question into who we are. Even though so much is really unknown in every moment, we get a reliance on the known. We get an expectation that this is how this will go. This is how this will go. And a lot of our life, we kind of move to the expectation of others' knowns to avoid anything unknown. It's kind of, if they know it, we don't, at least somebody knows it.
And then we feel a little bit more secure within ourselves. We feel like we too can belong. We feel accepted because that unknown can really be scary.
And we see quite regularly one of the jobs that if you're guiding people in life is to know certain situations, how to do things, and kind of put yourself in a position where you express those knowns and guide the people around you. And it creates a little bit of an unknown. It's an ever-present thing. Like right now, you have no idea what we're going to say. You have a general idea,
Understanding. Yeah.
but we could kind of go anywhere. The possibility is there. But if you've been with us quite a few times, you have a general idea of the flow of information and the energy that we bring. And that makes you feel more comfortable. And that level of comfortability and excitement and things that you come to count on, you share with other people. But think about the very first moment somebody told you about theta healing, or the very first moment somebody told you about
When you have to go to school. If you remember when you were young and you had to go to that first day of school and everything was unknown. You didn't know your classmates, you didn't know your teacher, you didn't know what was going to happen. You just thought you were going to go into the situation and your heart can get a little pounding. You get a little nervous and scared and wondering what is going to happen in the first day of school. That's the unknown.
when you have that feeling and you know that piece of information, you're sort of moving through the world. We stop a lot of our manifestations from just this word, known to unknown. What we know every day in our life, and our subconscious knows what could happen in the unknown. And it relies on previous information. It relies on what's going on from before. And we don't take a lot of steps. Like the reason to walk up to a person today and say hello, or walk up to a person today and say, hey, you made it so that I was happy to see you in the store. You just brought a cool energy. The line is you don't know how they'll react. You don't know what they're going to do. Right? Is it going to feel embarrassing? How am I going to feel doing forward? And you start to fill in the gaps of all your manifestations with things that aren't really set in stone. But instead of it being unknown, you start to manifest it into something that is known. You start to communicate it.
And all of those knowns come from all those times and places that from your ancestors, from past experiences, from things that you could have been in history level a long time ago. All those things come up from things that you've already done before.
And then before you get too far down the road, you're turning a situation into and creating the feeling and interpretation and understanding of the moment from a perspective that is known somewhere inside your subconscious, but isn't necessarily the real situation.
And may not even be the reaction that is necessary for the situation. Sometimes we can just project onto things that are not exactly how we feel in the moment, but we're just so used to that emotion that just kind of goes, oh, yes, I think that I should have joy in a moment that may need some sorrow or some different from hope, something totally different, but you're laughing.
It's a giant fear in life because there's so many variables, things that maybe we don't know. And we start to turn away from the discovery of them or trusting our own connection to them. And it starts to drive us from situation to situation. You've heard me say one of the hardest things to do is maybe be these people in our world who have to discern what happened from 12 different stories. And scientifically speaking, one of the worst form of evidence is eyewitness testimony because science knows eyewitnesses have feelings, they have history, they have emotion, they have focus, they have a filter of information. And within that filter of eyewitness testimony comes perspective. Even right now, you're feeding a perspective of things that you're ready to hear in your life.
Because of all of your past experiences, things that you've had that come up from all of your ancestors, because you're ready to hear it now, but you may not hear certain things because you're not prepared or to that moment.
And then we see one thing. And sometimes it's just one thing in the middle of something new or in the middle of a new place, new situation. And it's not the things that we've always done so far that get the good attention, and it becomes the new thing, the new, scary, unknown thing. And you don't have to ever look very far. We can see it yesterday walking down the street. We can see it yesterday watching people play basketball in a new place. You can see it in your house right now. New topic, new month. You can feel it in yourself. You've probably felt a little bit of, I wonder what it's going to happen. And you even probably felt maybe some fear kicking up, but also some hope.
But those are all just messengers that allow you to have basically the understanding of the things that are going on within you. They help you understand, hey, these are the emotions that are coming up. Do I like them or do I want to choose them? Because we can't really change anything more of the future until we understand the other things that are going on now.
So when we started doing this as a family, my mom starts teaching. It's 1995. She's talking about things that are still being slowly discovered. There are so many things about ourselves, our ability in this world that are still being learned. And it's funny, we say discovery, but really we're just learning. We're just learning what bodies have been capable of all the time. So it's not like, oh, this is brand new information, like the word discovery means. Oh, this is a brand new thing. No, it's something that's always been there. We're gaining understanding. That's what that word means for the world, and it should mean for us. But when we first started, we were talking about things in a world that is not in line with all of the information and is not in line with, well, there's cells that are anti-aging cells and there's this extra stuff. And as we start teaching, a couple of years go by and all of a sudden they make the discovery of, oh, hey, we found the anti-aging part of our cells. We're going to start working on it. We're going to start mapping more parts of things, but it's there. Now, what I always find really cool about that is My mom went up to the seventh plane, got an answer on how to do something, and then trusted it. And that's what we teach from the very basic level, how to build a trust with love and truth, and how to see what that answer is. But there doesn't have to be negative unknown if you go up and trust this place that's unconditional love with all the that has access to all the information. What you're learning to trust is the feeling. You know when you're in unconditional love, and you know when it's an unconditional love type answer. If it's something like, oh, you have to do this, then it's probably not an unconditional love answer. If there's a big amount of force and there's only one way to make it happen, and you're the one person to make it happen in the world, you probably got to go a little higher. Even the things that we talk about and we connect to, knowing a universal energy, we know that there are aspects that other people can learn and aspects that they share, whether they've heard it from us or other things. We know that each person is unique, but it doesn't mean that each person is exclusively getting information from the world. When they invented electricity, there's like four guys that were working on understanding it at the same time. We have egotism that wants us to get credit, and we have a society that rewards people to give credit to. We get caught up in that energy exchange of how it's going to be rewarded, and how do we position ourselves with these rewards if we do something that's unknown, if we do something that's maybe a little spectacular and unique. But we have a lot of fears about it too. Because if you step out today and you start to shine yourself and you embrace the things that really make you you, all of a sudden today, you embrace everything about yourself and you let it out. So as you're sitting there, yep, and boom, there it is. It's all coming out. The world can see how great you are.
That's where the what if game comes in. What if people don't like me? What if I put myself out there too much? What if I am not accepted for all the things that I have going on inside me that I love, but I'm just not ready to share with people? What if?
Yeah. What if I change to the version of me that I want to be?
Yeah, and my everybody isn't accepting me in my family because they only know one version.
So I better not let my family know about that side because I want them to love me. Or my one friend who doesn't like people who have uh, extra freckle on their arm. I better hide my freckle.
Whatever it is.
And we sort of start to move from energy to energy. And we slowly move and go in this energetic situation. Um, these are my knowns because this is what I know about the person. So I should change aspects of myself so that they know the same thing. And relationships fail all the time, not because of the known, not because of the things they know about each other, but the things that grow unknown, the things that people stop seeing, the things that people stop understanding in every moment, looking at. Think about yourself. You're gonna spend your life understanding more and more of your cells, understanding more and more of your abilities. And by now, belief work is my favorite. I know it's one of Raina's favorites.
It's
And it's because of every time I do belief work, I figure something that was unknown inside of my own cells to my conscious brain.
mhm. And I get a chance to change things. I get to go forward and be a whole different type of version of self that I'm trying to work towards, closer to that higher self.
And one of the questions that we often ask ourselves when we're kind of doing this work on ourselves, belief work or just mindful thinking, and hey, am I creating in this situation? Is am I trying to control something overly? Am I overly trying to control things? Like our young individuals we work with, students that we work with, yourselves, we're doing an appointment right now. One of the questions that we would start with is, what are you trying to create and what's stopping you, right? And I guarantee that while we were talking, we would ask you, what do you know? Like, what's the good thing that you've been getting that you're counting on from this situation? And what are you afraid of? What are you afraid of changing? What are you afraid of having happen? What are you afraid of in a moment? And everyone can feel that.
Because a lot of people, when they acknowledge that unknown, they go, I just am not prepared to be in that unknown because we're so used to different patterns, different ways of living, different ways of keeping it known.
So you walk into the brand new room and you're meeting a whole bunch of people you've never met before, and they have expectation. They've heard from a friend of a friend of a friend who you are, or they talked to your mom who said you're a cool person, and they know your mom. And so they each have this different level of expectation of what that means. What does that mean? And you walk into the room and you pick up their expectation. You pick up their understanding. You pick up what they know inside their cells of expecting you to be.
And do you give it to them or do you stay yourself authentically?
And then there's another question. When we say it like that, right here, right now, while we're talking. So Mona and Delara and Ayaka, all of us, we can take a look at this, right? When you hear that statement and you hear yourself being authentic or the pressure of other people, add in a third thing to think about. Think about if you have to have a battle to communicate yourself. Because the other thing that comes from unknown is battling. One of the human body's responses to unknown moments and unknown situations is anger and fear. Something is different. We don't know much about it. What should we do?
And although it can be like a great spiritual, emotional, and mental growth, it can be so daunting because of that exact reason right there. Because of emotions that come up and just overpower everything.
Because inside of our body, we're filtering to understand safety. And sometimes our immune system just attacks to attack. Becomes a programmed response. We have to attack new things to stay safe.
That may be a belief in yourselves. Do you need to attack something to stay safe?
Anytime you're in an unknown situation, the high alert comes out. Then you get down the road, and I know that as a lot of us have developed, we've gotten down the road and we can look back and go, oh, I wish this, I should have done this, or people are just like this. And in our own area, we have a little person that we've worked with a few times that is a massage therapist. And she comes, her heritage is from the Asian part of the world. And she says that in Montana, she doesn't feel that she is safe. Because in her circle, the part of things that she goes through every day, the people that she's around, she has a circle of people who are very judgmental, who took things that have happened in the past and took the news about COVID and put the blame of their unknown on a particular look, particular area. And even though she was raised right there most of her life, she feels a different pressure. But when she feels that pressure, she doesn't apply it to the group of people she's around. She applies it to, that's just the way the whole state is. I probably have to move. That's just the way everything here is. We live in the same state. We have you guys come to the same state. You've been here. Some of you were just there or are on your way there. Been there before.
Yeah.
And when you're done, you're going to come because you're a theta healer and because you're ready for a different experience, most of the time we hear they're the nicest people in the world. I love Montana. Everybody's so nice. Everybody wants to be a part of things. Everybody wants to make sure I'm okay.
And they're so questioning, like, where are you from? Oh my gosh, you came all the way here? Why Montana?
Well, what happened? Two people who look the same have two different experiences because their cells are communicating two different things.
Mhm.
There's much more to that other person's story. She's in a relationship that has its
Ups and downs.
ups and downs. She feels like uh, she's kind of locked into a difficult situation with her in-laws and her living situation far away from her family. And she feels like she's a little pushed away for being the different one. And so, in those situations that she moves into that are unknown, her cells create more known, more being the different one, more interesting reaction, more things coming up. If you have a fear of the unknown, you have a fear of weird things happening. Weird things have been happening in my life since I was little. I am my mother's son, which means not only have weird things happened, my mom points them out and celebrates them.
I mean, that's true.
That's what it means. That's what my childhood was. Hey, check out this thing that's a little different than what everybody else is paying attention to in this world. It's cool, huh? Yeah, that's pretty cool. The pressure of things that were known by the group and unknown was a huge part of my childhood. Raina found her own way into celebrating those same things. Not accepted in her household didn't mean she stopped it. She just created that side of herself and eventually let it be more known that's who she was. And then she gained real appreciation and acceptance from those around her.
Absolutely.
Started creating abundance. Stopped discreating difficulties or stopped creating difficulties and started making good things happen.
Absolutely. Manifestation started to come as I kind of just let things go. I lived in the moment, in the now, and the unknown without having to react to every little thing. Things are going to happen. Things are going to come up. There are things that are going to be not the way that we planned them to happen. And that's just part of the unknown. That's where people go, oh, well, what if it's going to happen? It's going to go bad. Well, we already know things are going to happen that aren't going to be the way we think it's going to happen. So we can either react with joy and be like, or laugh it off and be like, oh, there's that again. All right, well, let's change the way we want to go with that one and find a different way to go about it. Or we can get mad. Those are the two basic choices. I mean,
Yeah, so we're very good at doing readings. We go up, we connect, and we see things, and we still don't see everything in your cells or in your life.
Yeah.
Because it's yours.
It is.
It's yours. We see a lot. You can pick up on things that people focus on, but there's always going to be unknown. There's always going to be options. In this situation right now, all of you could click the button to leave this meeting if you want to. It could happen. And we could just be sitting here talking to ourselves.
It's totally true.
Is there a good chance that probably does happen? Yeah, there's a chance it doesn't happen. But I don't know for sure that it will or it won't. Because I can't manifest for you. I can't come in and say, this is what we're going to do. And Raina can't come in and say, you're going to do it exactly how I want to. And have that happen. Because even if we do have a powerful energy and we move things and we work with things, you still have choice. You still have opportunity. And you make that choice. Well, even if we're 99% certain, and this is huge for belief work, 99% certain of how things are going to go. It's being ready for the point or the 1% difference. Being ready for it. Just knowing, hey, If that happens, I have unconditional love. I have the ability in myself to create. I have the ability to move through this situation being the same special, loved, valuable person that I am.
And you can choose to look at it differently. Is it an adventure? Because all of a sudden something changed and it's the 1% that you weren't expecting.
And we hear that number a lot. You hear like, oh, 99%. And it makes us feel really safe. It makes us feel really safe. 99%. It's 1 out of 100, right? 1 out of 100. That's a very, very small thing. Because you're one out of like never gonna happen again. You start writing out that equation, it's like 1 out of 4 trillion times whatever. It's an interesting math equation, but it's a big number. Then you turn it into a percentage. It's like 0.00000000, and the zeros go for a long time of a percentage point. And that's you. That's who you are in this world. It's never gonna happen again. And you're gonna always be never gonna happen again. The you were an hour ago, you're never gonna be again. Because this version is just as special as the hour ago version. And that's part of the balance of like healing, right? Is how do I know how to feel connected to myself, appreciate who I was, appreciate what I can create all at the same time? How do we not get lost in, I wish this would have happened?
Or comparison
Or, yep.
or judgment of ourselves. That happens a lot where we get critical and judge ourselves for the things that we could have, should have, or would have done.
And on a scale of knowledgeable action, you were making the best decision you knew you could at the time, based off all the information, based off of your cells, based off of what you've been taught, based off of how you created. You were making the perfect choice. It's a guarantee. Now you can gain more knowledge. It doesn't stop the unknown, but it makes it so that you have more perspective. And that's why knowledge is such a powerful thing. Because with knowledge, you gain the perspective of others in your life. You gain how other people can see things. You gain how other people might react. And then you understand how you're reacting to separate it from. That's the most powerful information about knowledge. It shows you the differences in thinking, the differences in situations, differences in how people have done things. One of the reasons why we say and have a group conscious program of the past tends to repeat itself is because the knowledge of certain past things doesn't always get shared with the same perspective.
Mm-hmm. And so then it wants to stay alive.
So those people who have certain traits don't learn knowledge and perspective, and we move things away in certain ways. So what we can do in our life to not be afraid of the unknown or unknown things happening to us. Like if you go up and manifest today, my life is going to change and these wonderful doors are going to open. I'm going to be abundant. You have to have some faith in the unknown right there. Even if you have the perfect plan, there's still unknown factors at play.
And being able to accept them, that it's going to be unknown, that it may just be a little different than how you had it planned, allows it to come in easier.
Yeah. That you can say, oh, hey, this is an opportunity, and take this moment and go, what was I manifesting? What am I manifesting in my life? How does this moment and these energies, how do we fit? How do we all fit together? Because it leads to another question. What are they manifesting?
Mm-hmm.
Not just how is this working for me and I benefit, but what are they manifesting? How does it work for them? And how do we combine the two right now? How are they being combined energetically? Get rid of the definition of good and bad and ask yourself that question. When you've met people, how are they combining? You know, in your cells, you were creating and manifesting uh, some difficulties, right? Just alongside some of the easy stuff. And now that you know that and you gain some of that information, take a look back at that unknown and go, hey, how do we fit together? Open up the doors to the seventh plane and embrace hey, this feels new. Embrace the new, embrace the opportunity of yourself in every moment. Know that you're a changing energy. Know that you can count on the aspects of yourself that you love, and you can change the aspects that you're ready to move forward from and have people accept it.
Would you like that download?
Yeah, in a second, we're going to manifest real quick at the end of the day. End of the day.
This is their end of the day for a lot of them. For some of us, it's not, right? Right.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. So I wanted to share with you real quick kind of the unknown and moving moments of people with relationships. We work with lots of professionals around the world. We work with lawyers and bankers and doctors, and not a surprise, but we have people that we work with that are a little in our smaller circle. And we went to talk with some people that we've known for a long time and worked with at our one of our banks. We went in to talk to them about some of the new things that we're doing and how we were going to expand it, which means we had a great little plan. And up until this point, most of the information that had been shared, my role was that of kind of showing the plan and showing projections and being in the banker mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And when we sat down to have this meeting in this mindset, they asked us, like, okay, what is it that you guys are doing? And we started talking about teaching people how to embrace every moment and know how to be impactful in every moment and how you can affect your whole world in 1 second. You can open up all the doors by creating with an energy that you want to create, with a higher energy, with kindness, with forgiveness, with love, with respect. And we started getting really passionate about it, because right now you walk out today and you show one person a little love and say, hey, I don't know if people tell you this, but you're appreciated.
And people don't hear that very often. And you recognize it. You can see it in the person that you're saying it to. And they just kind of are taken back. Like, whoa, thank you.
First, I wonder if it's real.
It's true.
What do you want? Oh, nothing. We just really appreciate you. Just really appreciate what it is that you do to make the world work. And I was talking about it, uh, kind of finish up talking, and this person who we've known for years says, where did this version of you come from?
Mm-hmm.
We've known him for 15 years. This is what we do. We travel around and do different things. And the response was, where did this version of you come from? And there was shock and just like, wow. In our situations, that version of me had never needed to come out. It had always been something different. Which means that before we started talking, he had a specific expectation about what he was going to hear and how it was going to be shared, and even what he was going to say in response to it. And then we just sort of pushed that aside and said, no, this is this moment, and this is what we're bringing. You can choose to accept it or not, but this is authenticity. And when you start to do that, life starts to get really easy.
Doors start to open. They were really excited to talk more about it. They even had us come talk to their employees.
Yeah, we went and taught them twice already.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
These are the things, when you go up and manifest, it happens in your life. Like, unknown forces move and it's there. And you'll talk to countless theta healers and people around the world who will look and go, it was right in front of me the whole time. Or it took me 10 years, or it took me 4 years to see it.
Mm-hmm.
I manifested my soulmate and can feel my soulmate connection, and we're 5 minutes apart by each other. So embrace kind of knowing yourself in these moments. You know who you are. So even the unknown can't be really scary. And if you don't know who you are, you can go up to a place and see more about who you are and love yourself and appreciate yourself. We're going to walk you through a little bit of a manifestation and see yourself trusting some of these things in your life. So go ahead and close your eyes, take in a deep breath, and gather the energies up, bring it up through the bottoms of your feet. Up above your space, you're going to see yourself in a ball of light, and you're going to go up. You're going to go through the sky and the universe, through layers of light, layers of white light and dark light and golden light, through a gray jelly-like substance all the way up to a tingly white light. When you're there, you're going to say, Creator of all it is, I request all these things in my life now. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. You're going to come on. You're going to see yourself living your life. You're going to see these things coming into your life. You're going to see some of the ways that they come into your life, the way you want it to. But I want you to also see movement to the next situation with your manifestations, moving away from things that were totally known and into new times and new places carrying all your manifestations. I want you to see if you can do it without fear. Can you move into that moment, seeing the world around you, and do you attract people who are coming to you that you are going to grow and know and understand? Or does it mean, hey, part of your manifestation is more people in class? Does that mean you have to know them and they really have to know you? Or can you attract people who just heard about it? Or lets you kind of take a look at within yourselves, your manifestations. Are you manifesting in just perfect safety? Are you looking for total knowns in this world? What unknowns are you afraid of? And let you kind of feel them right now. If you're afraid of a lot of unknowns in that manifestation, then you can do a little bit of belief work. Once you're finished, go back up to that tingly white light. And you can open your eyes. See inside of you, you instantly felt the moment you visualized and connected to your manifestations, you felt what it was like to have them. You felt the universe calling them in. You felt the tools around you of them being there. And you also felt what things it might bring into your life that are not so good. You also felt some of those fears that come up of what it might create, what you might know it to create. So as you kind of go forward through the day, I hope you get a chance to reflect inside yourself, ask some questions to your subconscious, which means, of course, belief work, homework. And if you're in class already, you have extra belief work homework.
Yes.
Because we know that we just started up classes again online and in person. We actually have 2 run at the same time, DNA 4 and basic classes starting up again. On that side, on the Asia side of the world time zone.
Yeah, and we have people that are joining us from class, that are in class, that are practitioners. So thank you for joining us. We appreciate those too.
Yeah, and as we move forward, Raina and I are jumping on an airplane later today, flying a little closer to that time zone and getting ready to jump on for those things. We appreciate you guys all just taking time out of your day, sending your hearts.
Thank you.
Sharing your names and faces.
It's always to see you.
Hopefully you have a great and wonderful evening, morning,
day, whichever it is. For those that are going to see you in like an hour, we'll see you then.
Thank you all so much. Hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful moment.
Yes. See you next time. for the interpreter. Appreciate you.